So why we brought this conversation today, the trap of manual work and why conscious coaches struggle to scale, is because I really feel that this is a conversation I am having very often with our clients, with our community, and also with myself. So I really wanted to bring this conversation so we can talk about this together and to really work on how we can break free from this trap. And feel free to share in the chat if you feel this way, that write trap or put a garbage bin if you want in an emoji, if you feel sometimes that you are just sitting in a hamster wheel and manually working on stuff and just on social media, getting into the things, not stopping, manually working. I felt that way in many years. I really felt that I was working on social media, working online, and it feels like nothing is happening. Can you relate to this? When you just feel like I'm doing so much. I'm doing so much. I'm putting so much effort in. I'm speaking with people. I'm reaching out on different venues, social media. I'm doing all the things, but it doesn't feel like it's taking off. Like you are feeling like you are kind of trapped in a space. And what I realized was that for us as a company, for me as a person who have been in business for 16 years, for the first 10 years, I was trapped of this manual work. And the reason why I did not grow beyond six figures was because I didn't have the capacity to grow beyond six figures. I didn't have the systems, the structure, because I was so afraid of it. Can you relate to this feeling that being afraid of tech, being afraid of systems, like, oh no, I don't want to go there? And it took me too many years to get here, and this is why I want to have this conversation. Let's look at this together, because yes, it is something that most people don't do, but if you want to have a business, a vision which is larger than you, then we have to start working on this together. Okay, I'm seeing in the chat here, Laurence is sharing, indeed, I used to feel like that in the last 4 years. I changed a lot of things, and now I'm building my program with you, so it will get even better. Yes, you're doing amazing. I need at least 3 assistants at the moment, so I'm slow with the getting my message out there, says Patricia. I understand. I get lost in the amount of automations available. 100% I feel you. Daniel is sharing, I spend a lot of time trying to automate. Very interested how far I can take the automation. Yeah, okay. So that's the thing. First of all, either how does it look like? We might not have any automations because we just feel like I don't want to go there, or we have too many automations. So we get in the hamster wheel of the manual work, or we get in the hamster wheel of just automating for automating for automating. Can you relate to that, Neil? That we just don't know what we have anymore because there's so many things we have. So for us, I'll share you the journey we have been on with Barak, myself, and our team now. We started this company about 3 years ago, and I've been having companies in the space of method development myself for almost 16 years, and Barak also for almost 6 years now in the space of method development. And we had a really good success up to six figures, but then we kind of got stuck until we we had so many systems. I can really relate to Neil in this topic. We had so many different tools and WordPress and plugins and make automations, all those things, and it became very, very heavy until we developed our own space that we could have all the things in one place. Barak comes from computer science, from Microsoft, and we have really worked a lot of having a tech solution, which is now Mind Artist Tech, that some of our clients here are using, which gives everything in one space. And I want to talk about, you don't have to use our system, but I really believe it. You need to have a system for you to be able to have everything in one place, because otherwise, this is where you're going to lose a lot of time. This is where you're going to fall into just not knowing what to do and becoming a tech expert and tech person, or never going there because it just feels too scary. So today we're going to go through this process and reflect together. And really, it's this conversation we are having together of understanding that it's not an if, it's the only way. I really feel that for you to be able to have a sustainable, systematic, good business model, you need to have a system to scale. You need to feel that you can scale and get out of this multitasking, because that's the only way to do that. So how does it normally look like? And feel free to share in the chat which one you can relate to. One is the manual labor of social media. It's very common that someone gets stuck in systematically just reaching out, posting, not really knowing why you're doing that, and feeling a bit overwhelmed with that. In the last 2 years, we stopped social media completely. We deleted all the social media apps. And now in the last year, we have, our company has just grown to 130 clients. And now we just onboarded our fifth full-time employee in our team. So there's 8 people in the team, both Barak and his brother, me, and then we have 5 full-time employees without social media, without even having the social media apps. And our clients don't use it. They don't, we don't teach it. So this is something that I know from having a lot of conversation that this is something that is really tiring. In the last year, I spoke with a lot of beautiful people. Some of you, I see the face, we had a one-on-one conversation, and nobody, and I can maybe count on my hands on how many people really love social media, telling me like, Daria, you know what, I'm really having a great time on this. And most people just do it because we learn that that's what we have to do. And the manual labor of having an online business is really getting stuck on social media. Can you write in the chat if that happens to you? That you can just type social, so I know if you are spending time on social media and feeling like, what am I doing here? Why am I supposed to do this? So I also understand a bit more where you come from. Danielle, absolutely. Social, social, social. Okay. So this is one of those hidden, the hidden things that we do without even knowing why are we doing that, and we get stuck in the manual. And all disappears. Yes, exactly. It all disappears after. The second thing is manual client management. This is a biggie, because here's the thing. Most of our clients, when they come to us, they work with one-on-one sessions or they work with small groups. And if you want to scale, I speak to amazing people every day. And they tell me, Daria, I want to have a 7-figure business. I want to have a big brand. I want to have a big impact. I want to help a lot of people. And then I'm thinking, perfect, let's do it. But what's going to happen if you would have 100 clients coming to you to do tomorrow? So just feel into this for a second. If you would have 100 clients, Laurence, I'll give you 100 clients tomorrow and say, go, have fun with that. What would happen in your business? Will you be able to create the actual satisfaction for your clients? Would you be able to serve them? Would you know who is beginning, who is ending their contracts, what's going on with that person who had a payment not going through, who needs to change the bank details? Like you hear me talking and maybe you're already getting, oh my God, to how much there is behind the scenes. Because we all talk about, I want to have a big business, but then it comes to, do you really want to sit, even if you get off social media, managing clients at scale? If we did not have a system, we would not be able to care and love and really support 130 clients. And we really work with 100% client satisfaction. Our clients who are even here today coming on the call, they know how much we care for each person. And we would not be able to do that if we did not have a system. So is this something that you're already experiencing right now? I'd love to hear in the chat. If you're having a hard time remembering, who did you speak with? What did that person say? Maybe you even have the dreaded journal, the paper format. I have some clients sharing it with me when they come and say, Daria, look, I'm organized. And they show me like a bunch of papers and they are going through and like, what did that person say? What did we talk about in the last session? And they just completely overwhelmed with a lot of energy wasting of trying to pick up where did they end with one person. It's a very time consuming. Yes, 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 yes. So this is one of those things when we work with someone, we really insist on creating and management, because otherwise you're not able to scale. And then, yes, a lot of resistance letting go of paper. Yeah, I know. I'm having this it's like the snuggle blanket for therapists. I have this, practice like, please just give it to me. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna take care of it. So this is something that I really know is really time consuming, especially if you have 10 clients, 20 clients, 30 clients. Imagine if you have 100. And then comes the administrative task. And this is what Neil mentioned, working with lots of different tools. Like, okay, I have the tech, but I don't even know where the tech is going. It just 5, 6 automation. There is Make, and there is WordPress, and here's that, and that lead goes there, and just feels like a complete mess. And then managing finance and managing accounting, managing payment, it just feels like a very chaotic space. And this is what happens to most people when we work with manual labor. And I'm sharing this with you, and I am just feeling myself like the emotional, oh my God, I lived in that for so many years. You can relate to this, right? Like this feeling of, wow, there's just so much and just so heavy. So in the end of the day, we just feel really exhausted of doing all of this. Now, this is a really crucial thing that I want to talk about. Why do we end up here? Most of us start a business because we love what we do. Can you relate to this? We love. I know for a fact, every person I spoke here and everyone that is here, you love what you do. You started this because you have a purpose. You really want to change people's lives. You really want to impact. And this is beyond a job. This is your life purpose. This is your mission. You are seeing yourself, many clients I speak to, they say, I have the vision to be on stage. I have a vision to impact a large scale. And I know that you're not doing it for the money. Money is a resource. You're doing it because you know that this will support you to create a larger impact. So you are great at what you do. Now, just because you're great at what you do does not mean that you're great at scaling a system, scaling a business. And this is where I think the biggest mistake is. We come into business and we have these skills and we get trained and trained and trained, and we get the certification for this coaching, we get the certification for this tool, but we don't get the certification for business and marketing and actually having a real structure. And I end up having conversation every day with people saying, I don't know why it's not working, because I have the skills and I am doing the social media thing that they're telling me to do, but I'm not getting clients. And the issue is that we did not study simple business. Simple business means that it hasn't changed in 100 years. To have a business, it's always about having some types of understanding of sales, some type of understanding of marketing, and knowing how to create organization and structure in what you do. So a business is your delivery, maybe your coaching, giving retreats, workshops. And then there is your marketing of that offer. Then there is your sales. And then there is a system that is holding all of that. And for you to have something that is not manual means that you need to be equally skilled, or at least have someone who is your partner in crime, who is helping you to have the knowledge in those areas. You see where I'm going with this? Because if you only have your skills, you're amazing at that, but then you are missing core foundational skills, and it has nothing to do with TikTok dances. We don't need to dance on TikTok. We don't need to know the new algorithms. My favorite salesperson is Zig Ziglar. Maybe you've heard of him. He's already dead. He doesn't, he wrote his sales books around 100 years ago. And what he has to say is equally valuable today. The understanding of how to work with people has not changed in the last 100 years. The understanding of building a business and the structure, it's a foundational skill that is not the tools, the tips, the hacks. It is the foundations of how do I work with people in integrity, in understanding how to create an offer, how to speak with them, about my offer, how to present it, how to help them to find if it's a yes or no, and how to work together. It's all the same. And something in our head happened that made us think that online is different from the offline. I even did that. My second TEDx was about this topic. Somehow we thought that we don't need to be the same way online. I think it's all the same. The foundation of business has not changed. The issue is that most of us have never learned those skills. Most of us did not take the time to study what it means to create an organization. I would love to hear, what are you taking away from this conversation so far? Just write in the chat, what is landing for you? What is an aha? What are you feeling? I want to hear all of you, because this is really for you to reflect on your business. I'm doing this workshop for you so you can get something really valuable from today that you're realizing. Anam, Danielle, what is resonating? What is one thing? Neil, I would love to hear. Nama, Laurence, Patricia, Arvind, Willem, Apple, Wansanti, what is one of those things that you're realizing? What is making sense? Let's look at it. What makes sense for you and what do you see for yourself? Most people that I worked with in the last 16 years, when they come to me, they say, wow, I thought I knew business. I thought I knew what it means to build a company, but actually I never studied it. I never understood what is having an actual organization, actual business. And then they say, you don't know what you don't know, because we think that we know, because we see, okay, I did social media, I did that online course about social media, why am I not getting clients? So we have this false idea, I call it the Hollywood illusion. Like, if I go on social media, I will be a star. And it's a false understanding of what it actually means to have a business. Let's see. The idea that business sales marketing has not changed, as Arvind. Yes, it really hasn't, but we need to know how to use it. Definitely have the impression I'm not doing what I'm on this earth for when I need to communicate, post on social networks, and do admin. Laurence, yes. So here's the thing. What I realized is that you need to understand business, which doesn't mean that you need to do it. Okay? What it comes to is to know that it has to be covered. If you want to have a company, and for me, a company should at least be 6 figures, because you need to pay taxes, you need to be able to take holidays, to budget different areas, at least planning for 6 figures in your business, 100,000 euros or dollars per year, for you to be able to have a sustainable income. And for that, you need to know, okay, this is how I approach the delivery, this is how I approach my marketing, this is how I approach my sales. And if you are not strong on those areas, getting someone who is, it can be beginning a mentor, a coach, or a team. In our company, Laurence and Danielle, they're part of this program, but there's me, there's Barak, my co-founder, if you haven't met him yet. I think you all have met him. And there's 3 full-time support team members who are working with our clients only in this program, full-time, just supporting our clients as a team. And I always tell our clients, we are a team. We work as a team. We are part of your team. So it's really crucial for you to find those people in your life who can help you to find that team if you don't have it in you. And like Laurent said, maybe you don't even want to do it, but you need to have someone doing it. And as you scale, that person might become someone that you hire that can work with you internally. That's what's happening to us. We started with that. And as you go through the next process of working with someone that is working with you, they start to have their employees, and then you can grow. So for us, in the beginning, I was doing everything and Bark was doing everything with automations. But now we have people helping us because we grew from 1 person and 2 people, and then slowly, slowly, slowly. And then we have people helping us with the structure and the automations, which I will talk more about today, how to work with that. Okay, are you following me? So So yeah, so this is great, Neil. So business is fine, but it's marketing engagement I struggle with. So that's the thing. Sales and marketing are the two things that are together. So if the sales side, Neil, is good for you, but the marketing isn't, then I would really recommend focusing on that area so you can improve it. I would really recommend to look at that and say, okay, as a business owner, it's our responsibility to say, I'm gonna look at that and just be very honest. Like this part, I need to improve here. And what do I need to do in order to improve that part? You know, and it's not always fun to be that, that serious, because we all want to give workshops and be on stage and do like the fun things of coaching. But having a sustainable business and just saying that this is for the bigger mission and I will get the right people on board to help me, and being open to get coached and get training, and also hiring people who can help you if you cannot hire, but finding a way to get that support, it's crucial for us to be able to do what we love doing. Yeah, and I'm saying I have very limited knowledge about business. I really hope that, Anam, for you, that this will inspire you to go ahead and really find a place where you can practice and study and get excited about this topic, because it will change the impact that you can create. Okay? Um, yeah, Danielle was putting a lot of energy into learning how to use social media. And here again, you don't need to do, if social media doesn't feel right, also trust that intuition. We had this intuition in us with Barack and say, what if we stop social media and delete the apps? It was a risk and we stopped it, but we did go ahead and use Facebook ads. And now we have a beautiful community. Now there's around 7,000 people in our community. It's incredible, who came from ads. More than all these 7,000 have gone through the workshop, or at least signed up. Some of them have watched the replays, and some of them came to the live. I have more than 1,000 people in the last year who watched the workshop from ads. We decided to go from that part, but we did not stop the marketing. So for Neil, for instance, talked about marketing, I would say, if you don't like social media, find another path that feels more aligned, but don't skip it altogether. So we always need to have something that is happening there. I just want to do what is my purpose for this life, says Laurence. Hold space for people and guide them with my heart in their own path. Yes. Yes, yes. So get yourself the people. It really is a good investment for some reason. And I have this conversation quite often, is that it feels easier to invest in coaching. I spoke with a woman this morning and she said, yeah, I'm doing this training and I have done this training, and she loves that. But the issue is that her coaching certification that she is collecting now is just leading to procrastination of her actually working with people. And she realized that actually I am more excited about learning more new tools and techniques. I'm not so excited about learning the business side. But if we don't put that focus there, then we are not able to grow our business. Because if we are just adding more tools, we are still not learning sales and marketing. Make sense? So it really is, the question is, how can you find the joy of working with those areas of your life? And even if you don't want to do it, at least understand the foundations of sales and marketing, get the trainings, get the mentor, and get, in our case, we do it internally with our team for our clients as much as we can, because we know that they cannot hire full-time employees working with them, but at least we have 3 people full-time working with our clients and helping them. So find a way for you to maybe start a couple of hours, or at least get some support to do that, so you can actually never skip the sales and marketing. Okay. Yes, Patricia, absolutely. So the question for you is, if you say I need someone to do the other bit so I can create, so look at how can you find that someone? Who is the person? If you don't want to be doing it, who can be the person who can help you to either be that person or help you to find the right people? Because it's a combination. Yeah. Okay, Laurence is having a call. I have to have the income to start and get the people. Yes, so it goes together, and this is where you need to know who to hire first, and also how to work with automations, because some things can be replaced by the automation. You don't need people for that, and some things you will need to have people for that. Yeah, and the best combination is people managing your systems. If you can have automations and everything working, but having the people managing for you and just then you don't need so many people. Okay, how are we doing so far? Can I have a thumbs up if you're all good with me? Like this, you're like, oh, what's going on here? Like this. Just a bit of Neil. Arvin, how are we doing? Anam, how are you doing? Thumbs up, yeah, awesome. Patricia, you're writing, you're excited. I love having you here, Patricia. She's awesome. Okay, let's continue. The noisy online world. Yes. So those are the couple of things that we talked about, the manual work. But if we zoom in into the actual delivery, where do we get tired is with too many programs. If you have workshops and online courses and retreats and one-on-one sessions, the problem with that is that it's hard to create systems for everything. When you have a lot of different things that you're offering, and then you're trying to create email automations for this, and you try to create structure for that, and landing pages for that, you're getting tired. And most of the people that we speak with who haven't reached 100,000 in their business, they are scattered with different programs. And it feels more safe to do that because we think, well, if I do many things, then there are many options. It's the rational, logical, but it actually goes against ourselves. And the same with the online courses. If I say I'm going to do a lot of different things, we get very scattered. One of the things, one of the things is that we get into trying to create passive income very quickly. It's like, I'm gonna go online, I'm just gonna do everything passive as happened to you, I'm gonna create an online course. And then we get into the marketing, the craziness, and all of that. What I am talking about here is to create simplicity. You can create simplicity with your automations. But the thing is, let's talk about Neil for a second because you mentioned different, automations, all the things. You have a lot of automation. Imagine if you have 3, 4, 5 different offers, and then you have all these automations. It becomes a complete mess. So what we recommend is to have one, only one, only one program. You can have a lot on the back end, but in the world, if I would come to Nama and I would say, what can you help me with? She would tell me only this. In our world, it's only one 3 months program. That's it. You cannot buy anything else. There's no other way to work with us. Why? Because it's already enough to create an automation and go through the whole journey of systems and structure for one program than if you would do it for 5. So can you write a number of how many different programs do you have for your clients? If I would come to work with you and I said, Arvind, let's work together, how many different offers would you offer me? 3. Yes. Yeah. So this is where 305. Okay. You see? Exactly. Exactly. This is one of those things where if we can, my intention today is not only talk about automations and going into the hacks, just really help you see one large tall. Okay, amazing. I'm happy to hear that, Patricia. One large, 12 models. Perfect. 3. Yeah. So here's the thing. If you have a simplicity with only one program, it's much easier to create a system for that. So what we are talking about here is how do you systematize your business so there is less overwhelm? And one of the first thing we do is to get rid of the social media. We talked about it in 1 second ago. But the second thing we do is like now we clear the space. There's no more social media there. There's only a blank page. My mind can think again. And now I can focus. What do I want to create? I want to create an incredible 3 months program. It's going to be the entrance to my world. And that program is the only focus for my system. Only one program, and then you can have, programs after when someone comes in, works with you, level 2, level 3, wherever. But there's only one when they come to you. There's only one foundational, the world of Patricia. There's only one thing that they can do with her. And it feels scary because they say, oh, maybe I should have a lot of different things. It feels more safe. but it overwhelms you and overwhelms others. So one of the first thing we want to do is to really clear up, focus, and then start building systems in that direction. Okay? That's one of the things. So I would love to hear, is there any resistance to doing that? If there is, feel free to share in the chat. What would be that? Neil is going like this. I'm very excited to hear for the ones who have 3, how would that feel for you to say, you know what, there's only one way to work with. Only one way. Only one way to start working with me. It's 3 months and it's 1K or 1.5 or 2,000 or 3,000, depending on, and that's it. And it's in a group. And then you focus all your energy to systematize that. Relief. Yeah. 100%. No more one-on-one session, no more $27 subscriptions and $97 passive income online courses and the ebook and the this and that and this and that and this and that. Yeah? So before we can systematize, we need to clear up. Clear up what we are actually doing with our days. Before anything. I love, Patricia, that you took action since our call and you put together a 3 months, 12 module program. Yes, there's only one way to work with us, Neil. And it's such a relief for us and for our clients because we can pour our love and focus into one program. And then there is a level 1 and there's level 2 and there's a continuation, there's so many ways. But when you enter our world, we only start in step 1. And then you say, okay, I'm ready for step 2. Okay, we go to step 2. But we don't present in the shop, here are the 55 ways that you can work with us. We focus all our energy on only one program. And in the last year, there's been more than 130 people going through that program. Why? Because we focused everything into one. And it's so beautiful. And now we have opened the level 2 program, but we don't offer that externally. It's only for our members who want to continue. And it's beautiful because it's a natural progress. You see? And that is the relief of having just having one thing. It will help you to focus. Again, I'm helping you to see where you are getting clogged up into the manual. And even before we talk about automations, the system is how much noise there is with the social media, with the different programs, with the different things, with the different automations. Like, what are we actually doing here, right? So we want to make sure that we focus. And I hear relief, and I'm curious to hear, Neil, how is it sounding to you to just have one? Vasanti, a medical herbal practitioner, so although can concentrate on one condition, can actually work with many conditions. How can this work? Great question, Vasanti. So you can have one program that is englobing all of them. You can have a program that is a method where all of that lives. You can combine the tools and you can create a journey where you combine different tools that can help your clients through a 3-month process. So it can be herbal, it can be therapy, it can be coaching, it can be different things. And that combination is the journey that then you can, that's the power of the method. We create the method, we create the process, and we improve. And of course, it just becomes better. Yeah, and it will be really good. So I give you as a homework, if you look at your offers today, and when you listen to this, look at your offers and just cross over the ones that you're ready to let go of and just feel how it feels. Just look at one. And maybe some of them can be a combination. And you say, actually, those two can be together. And maybe some of them can be like a level 2 after the first 3 months working with you. There's many, many ways it can do. Yes, amazing. I'm starting with one model of my program at a time until I've built out my 12. I have 3 ready. Yeah, the 12 models are like a roadmap, each model part of the journey. Yeah, I would absolutely recommend having them all part of the same journey, to have them all together into one method and 3 months. And I would recommend Patricia having 9 models, not 12, to just really ease it up a bit. 9 models in 12 weeks. little side details. It will be very helpful for you. And this is a couple of things I want you to start looking at. And one of the other things you can look at is your schedule. Just look at your schedule and see where you are doing things that are not leading anywhere. Someone mentioned it today already, the social media creation. Getting stuck in content creation. Has it happened to you? You're creating a lot of content and it's not leading anywhere. You're posting social media or you're posting things, but you don't really know why you're doing it. The way we see it is that it should be like a statue in the middle of a square in Paris. If you go, or the, if you have been to Paris, there's the Arc de Triomphe, the Triumph Arc, yeah? Have you heard of it? It's beautiful. It's in the middle of the city and it has a roundabout around it, and it's so big and so present, and it is standing there for years and years and years. It's evergreen. It's standing on the open space and everyone can see it, and it's not going anywhere. That's how I want you to think about your content. If you're gonna invest any time in your content, it has to be like a statue in one of the squares in Paris, where people can see you all the time and it's not going anywhere. What do? We create organic, let me do a live in someone's Facebook group. Nobody will ever see it. It's a closed space. It's not an open space. Let me do even Facebook. Not everyone is using Facebook. Let me do something in some area, maybe only for my clients. What we want to do is that every action you do, even before you automate it, look at where are you wasting time. Is this really the best time use, or am I just getting into a waste of time because I don't know what to do? That's what we do sometimes. So I highly recommend, and what happens for us is that as soon as we stopped social media, we had the space to think. And now I can look at my schedule and I say, I am only focusing on this program. Only our amazing clients in our 3 months program where we work on these areas, and I'm only focusing on them and only the sales and marketing for that program. That's all. And then I'm looking at my schedule. Where am I doing manual tasks? And why am I doing this? I'm really questioning every task I'm doing. I'm saying, why am I posting that post? Why am I doing this? Even this presentation that we are doing today, this is going to be recorded. It's going to be shared. Something that you can be re-listened to. And if you're listening to the replay, you'll be able to listen to replay. It will be shared in an open space for everyone to watch. So anything you do should have a reason and connection with the rest of what you're doing. And this is directly linked to our program. So even when you share content, we have 9 modules, and this is one of the modules. This is going a bit deeper into the system that we create and the thinking. Okay, so those are a couple of things to start thinking about just to clear up. The first task is really to clear up the mess. Yeah, are you following me? Looking at the areas, being very ruthless about your schedule. Can you share in the chat one thing that you already see that you are doing that is not really useful? That you know that you're doing, but you don't really know why you're doing it. If you look at your week, this week, Monday to Thursday, has there been some task in your business that are manual, that we talked about, that are clogging your feeling of actually looking at it without falling into the manual? It can be answering WhatsApp messages, can be working with one-on-one clients. It can be posting just for the sake of posting. Posting, yeah. Social media plan, I should be doing. Yeah. Oh, the planning also, that comes together, right? So if we look at social media, I really invite you to think about it. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And how is this even useful? Because if you cannot answer the question, then better rethink this. Maybe chat with ChatGPT a bit about what am I doing this for? Getting organized, working social media, yeah. And planning. Planning is also part of what are we planning for? How far ahead are we planning? Putting deadlines and working with deadlines. In our program, I'm very insisting, and I can ask Danielle, who's here. I'm like, what is the action of the week? You have 8 to 10 hours this week to work on this. Put down the action. Put down the damn action. Put it in your schedule. We're gonna do this. I'm very insisting on that. Why? Because it's so easy to fall into procrastination. So easy to do something else. Do it, yes. Do the small, do the right thing. So it's not only about doing it, but doing the things that are actually reusable. And I'll tell you a story. We have this amazing client, Ronnie. He's been with us for quite some time. We are doing his 4th edition of his method group program. He came, he had one-on-one sessions with us, and we created this method. We launched his 3 months program. We had 9 members in the first, 10 in the second, 12 in the third, and now we're preparing for 15 in the next one. And for me to tell you, okay, if we're gonna scale this, we need to really work on your time management, because you don't have the capacity to scale anymore with the way that you manage your time. And we looked at his schedule and asked him, let's just clean up all the manual things that you're doing in the week. And we realized that even if he had scaled to group programs, he was still doing one-on-one sessions. He could not stop. It was his snuggle blanket. This is what's going to happen to you all. Maybe your snuggle blanket is your social media. Maybe your snuggle blanket is your therapy clients. Maybe your snuggle blanket is, but I just want to do this thing because I like it, because it feels good. And I sat with him and I said, okay, it's time. It's time, Ronnie. We have to let go. If you want to create a scalable impact, you cannot keep your all one-on-one clients. There's no space for, because you're repeating yourself. What happens in that room stays in that room, and nothing gets reused. There's no systems, there's no automations, there's nothing reusable in this. And we managed to see that there was 22 and a half hours of him working with one-on-one clients every week. Can you imagine how much time? And he was telling me, oh, I don't have time for social media. No, it's not social media, for building out my branding. I don't have time for this. I don't have the time for this. I said, let's look at your time management for a second and let's see what's really going on. And 22 and a half hours, he had to go to the forest and really breathe for a second because it was a lot to let go of them. But he realized that he was holding on to manual work because it felt safe. And it's like this irrational thinking. Many times when someone starts to work with high ticket, and we have many clients, just today, one of our clients, she said she charged 5-6 times more than she ever charged. She had 13 people in her retreat, and she had 10 people signing up working with her after the retreat. Out of those 13, she charged 5 to 6 times more than ever before. And still, I don't know in her case, but many times in those cases, they will still keep the 50 euros per hour sessions because that's part of their identity. So they fall back into, or maybe you do that as well. We fall back into that, but that feels safe. And we just look rational, like it doesn't make sense anymore that you keep your one-on-one clients for 50 euros per hour when you're charging 1,500 for a program. And it's like looking at that rationally. Why are we doing what we are doing? Can you tell me one thing that you're doing that is not rational? That you know that you need to let go of? That it doesn't make sense anymore for this stage of your business. Maybe you're still doing all your admin by yourself. Maybe you're still posting, if you are using social media, well, or if you're doing emails, maybe you're doing all your editing by yourself. Maybe you're doing, like, what is it that you're doing? Maybe you're keeping your one-on-one clients when you can work with groups. What is it that you're doing? Patricia is saying, I've been advised to post on every social media channel every day. That sounds very exhausting, Patricia. It sounds like a lot. Uh, Not doing groups. Yeah, sticking to one-on-one clients, 100%. It's looking at that and saying, let's just be rational for a second. Why am I doing this? And if someone said, you should be posting on social media or you should be doing da da da, then run the other direction because you should, is never the right thing to say, right? Feel in yourself, is this the right thing for me to do? Okay, let me really analyze structure. Is this rational? Is it logical? Does it make sense what I'm doing? Or am I just doing things that people are telling me to do? And then think. Think for a second. Step out and think. Take the time to sit down and reflect. Today I'm here with you to reflect. Okay, so let's look more on what we have here going on. What I would say when you have a bit of clarity of all that, what we need to add to this, when we get that one program, when we get that one structure, and we clear up the things that we do that are not rational or doesn't make sense, like working with one-on-one clients, if we don't want to do it anymore, working with social media, if we don't want to do that anymore, then we have to look at how do we actually optimize that. One of the first thing to do that is manually done by most coaches is lead generation. Let's say you're gonna do a workshop tomorrow. No, let's say in a week from now. I want you to have Patricia, Arvind, Nama, Daniel, Neil, Willem, Apple, Vasanti. I tell you next week I'm preparing a space for you in the Zoom room. I want you to bring 100 people to this room. Go. How will you get those 100 people into the room? Just write in the chat three to five ways for you to find 100 people that will be in that room. So Neil is scratching his like the marketing questions are coming now. How are we gonna get them into the room? Are you gonna go and knock on doors? Are you gonna put flyers? What are you gonna do? I would love to hear. Facebook ads. Yeah. Group workshops online. Yeah. Emails. Great. What else can you do? How will you get 100 people? Ads, I presume. Word of mouth. What can you do to get 100 people in the room in a week? Facebook ads, question mark. Yeah. You see, if we are thinking at scale, the only thing that makes sense is ads. So if we know we want to grow a company, we want to get in front of 100 new people, and we all saying that logically, the only thing that makes sense is to have Facebook ads working for us. Why would we not do that? If we think, okay, let me get 10 new people in my work, and let me spend 40 hours finding them on Facebook and reaching out and being kind of weird and sneaky about it, or I just say, hey, here's my workshop, come and meet me next week. I put money on that. End of the story. There's 100 people in the room. I know how much I pay. We know that, okay, one lead naturally should be between 3 to 5 euros, dollars per sign up. That's a good conversion. Okay, if I put 300 euros into that, I have 100 people in that room signed up into that workshop. Okay, that's awesome. Yes, so here is, and Willem is saying, Facebook ads can be quite challenging to do if you don't know what to do. So here is where we think about who can help us. How can I learn that? I really want you to start thinking, where are the blind spots? And seeing it as an opportunity. To say it's completely normal because we never studied it. Most of us never went to business schools. Most of us didn't have, I didn't go to business schools. Most of us didn't go. I learned by mentors, by studying courses, trainings, investing in myself over and over again in the last 16 years, and testing, learning marketing, the marketing, sales, hiring, because that's the only way to do it. So if we don't know it and we want to grow a company, either we avoid it and we go and study another coaching course, or we look at the elephant in the room and say, I don't know how to use Facebook ads. Let me find someone who can help me. You with me? So if we know, if rationally we all know that this is the best way to do it, why would we not approach it with, I'll figure it out until I know how it works. I'll find the person, and if I don't want to study it, I'll find the people who can help me. I'll find the people who can help me to do it. And find the people, I really hope that you have those people in your world, because it really helps to have someone that can sit with you and work with you on the Facebook ads. This is why we have 2 full-time employees working with us, where we're just working with the marketing and ads with our clients in our program every day of the week, because it's something that is crucial for a company to work. We need to have someone who is an expert who can help us with ads. So think about who is your who. I will say it like this: who is your who? If you don't want to do it by yourself, Willem, or if you want to work with ads and you know that this is the only way for you to not do manual lead generation, get the people on board. And if you cannot hire full time, see a way that you can get someone to help you. The second thing is, if you have no clue about how any chain works and you're technically, then who can you trust? Well, great question. How do you trust someone and you don't know anything about it? Start by speaking with people, start by having those conversations, and start finding out. And find the solutions where you can invest and work with people who can help you. Find solutions. Let's say, I'm giving you an example of us just because it will help you to see. We have a 90 days full refund guarantee on our program. Someone coming in to work with us has full refund guarantee on working with us. Just show up for 4 live sessions and full refund guarantee. So find yourself someone who can bet on you, take the risk and say, I'm here to help you. And I understand you don't trust me because you haven't worked with me, but I'm happy to go all in and help you to work out. It doesn't have to be us, but there are great people out there, and having to trust that they're great marketers, they're great people. Maybe that's the thing, something to look at with them. How can you believe that there are great people out there who actually really want to help you with your business? Because sometimes we think that, oh, marketers are bad or salespeople are bad and they have bad reputation, but not all people are like that. So find the ones who have testimonials, speak with them, have a conversation, find someone that you can trust, and also make sure that they are genuinely here to support you and that they have some type of guarantee that they can say, okay, what happens if it doesn't work, or what happens if it doesn't feel aligned? It's crucial. Okay, so let's continue. What are you taking away so far? If you think about one of the core things that you're already realizing, if there's one thing that you're taking away from today's session so far. I'm in the right place. Oh, Danielle, we love you. I'm just so excited to see our clients. If I don't see them for a couple of days, I start to miss them. It's just like, because it's amazing, being part of one program, structure, stick to one program, simplicity. Yeah. I like to say simple is sexy. I really believe it. How can I simplify? How can I simplify? What am I doing where I'm getting out of my own way because I'm starting to create a lot of complexity? How can I simplify? How can I simplify? One program. Beautiful. Okay, so let's look at a couple of things that you need to create a systematic business model. I'll repeat a couple of things. I keep repeating, but it's really good to understand that it's not only about what is that AI tool, what is that AI hack, because we can create a lot of automation and structure and things don't matter. We need to automate, and we need to automate and structure and systematize the things that actually matter. Are you with me? So we can create social media structure and all the things, but if we don't want to do social media, then we create structure for no reason. So let's create systems on what actually matters. So when we get to a point of I'm having one program, I know that Facebook ads might be the best option for me because it's the only way I can have 100 people, 100 new leads in a week. There's not other way. Maybe if I walk around and, rock on doors, but it's the fastest way. And I know that I want to create a really simple process for me to work with them in the marketing, in the sales, in delivery. The three areas: marketing, sales, delivery. Then you can start looking at every area. What do I need to do in my delivery to create systems? Even before going into the technical part. But many times I think we mix up the technical part and the systems. Are you with me here? So sometimes you think that tech and structure and systems will be, if I just set up some really cool software, it will solve all the things. Really cool softwares are great, but we need to make sure that we actually know what we are doing within them. So when I work on the system automations and like getting out of the manual work, I am not even on my laptop. I close the laptop, I close my phone, and I sit down with a paper and pen. And I ask myself, what am I doing in my delivery that is not repeatable? What am I doing here? What am I doing in my marketing that is not repeatable? And what am I doing myself that is not repeatable? And then I look at those things and then I bring it to the tech and the systems. And then I bring it to Barack most of the times and ask him, can we do this? And nowadays with AI and automations, we can do anything. So the question is not, can I automate this? Can I work with this? Can I automate the onboarding? Yes. Can I automate the presentation creation? Yes. Can I automate the editing? Yes. Everything is automated. Like everything can have a system nowadays. With tech and AI, everything is possible. But you are the person who need to fuel the systems or the people who do it for you. Are you following me here? So the best way to go about it is to go through it once a week, sit down and look at it and say, okay, what am I doing in my delivery that is not repeatable? The first thing will be, I'm not having a group program. I'm repeating myself one-on-one over and over again. Yeah, that's the first thing. Second thing is, I am manually writing notes in my journal, in my paper journal. Okay, I am onboarding them with WhatsApp and different PayPal links. Okay, I like Daniel is laughing because some of you can relate to this. Yeah, like, oh, I'm sending them a WhatsApp and then they send me this message and you start to look at that and you see all the hours you're spending. And then you make that list. And then you go to someone or someone who understands tech and say, help me to go from one-on-one to groups. Help me to create an onboarding experience which is automatic. Help me to have a place where I can structure all of things. Because here's the thing, you're the architect. You are the architect, and the most important skill today is not to know the tools. You can have people doing that for you, but you need to have the understanding of what you need to stop doing the manual work. So it's really more about how to think to scale than to learn the tools. When you learn to think to scale, you can start thinking, I have said this too many times, maybe I need to record myself. I'll give you some examples of what I would do in a normal week. For now we have a group program. We had an amazing group. And there are things that are still manual. Let's say in the course area, we have a course and a program, and every client gives us feedback. Now, more than 130 people are giving feedback. If someone asks, Daria, I would love to see how it was for the people who joined this program when they launched their first had their first sale. Like, I want to understand, how does it look on the other side? Someone asked me this week. So instead of me saying that to that person, I went to 5 of our clients who just sold with their program, and I tell them, can we record a case study with you so everyone can learn from that? Now suddenly I've gone from one-on-one conversation with someone, even if it's recorded, to create a resource bank of 5 videos with people who sold from ads and workshop and launched their first program. Is it going to be useful for everyone? Yes. Can I give it to anyone who needs to understand more and want to have inspiration? Yes. Can we learn from that? Absolutely. And then we had clients who said, Daria, can you show me examples of this type of 3 months program? So now I'll reach out to 3 of our clients who have different formats. Some do it online, some do it offline, some do it combination one-on-one in groups. And now I can give them case studies and show them. So anytime there's a question to me one-on-one, I don't reply anymore. I'm thinking, how can this be reused for next person? So it might take me 1 hour, but then I will create a resource that everyone can use after. So an example of that, I used to have a one-on-one client 2-3 years ago, and she asked me, how can I do testimonials? And I had the group program and the one-on-one at the same time. So I said, okay, let me sit down for 2 hours and create a training on how to create testimonials. And it took me 2 hours. It was a 20-minute training explaining the 6 ways that you can gather and capture testimonials. I shared it with her and I put that into our course. And now all our clients are benefiting from that. You see how I'm thinking here? I'm thinking in systems. So I'm stepping out. And before I even go into automations, I'm thinking, what am I doing in delivery that is really always coming up over and over again? And I'm repeating myself. And I step out for a second and I look at it and slow down time. Because I don't do social media and I don't do 5 programs. I have space in my schedule to focus and slow down time and look at it and say, what am I doing here? That is always manual, that I'm repeating myself. And where am I is this gonna stay? If not, then I have to do something about it. If I am onboarding every client individually, then I need to think, how can I onboard them in group? Or how can I onboard them automatically? And then I take that information and I put that into the system. If you don't have a system, then look at what you can find. We use My Artist Tech and we have all the software in one place. But if you're not using this, find something that can do it for you. So you have a place where you can do all of that. And there's so many great AI tools and automations that you can use nowadays. But without that, you can go through the process of going from manual to systematic, but not from systematic to automated. So we have to go through 2 steps. You follow me? So really that's how we work. And I would love you to share in the chat. We'll finish with that and we'll do some Q&A as well. I would love you to share in the chat that what you are doing on the manual level for delivery and for marketing and for sales that you can just look at right now and that you know that you want to create a system for. Because if you can create a system, that system can be managed by a team in the beginning, by people, or by automations. And if you are wondering, is it an automation or a technical part that can be done? It can always be done by an automation. But in the beginning, you might have a person doing it for you. Yeah? So maybe someone is manually reaching out, but you create a system for every person that's coming into your world. There's a system for how to onboard. There's a system for all of that. So let's look at that together. And I will stop the sharing and I would love you to share in the chat. Let's look at delivery and the manual work and delivery, the sales in the manual work and the marketing in the manual work. You can take 5 minutes and just think about it for a second. Where are you doing manual, non-reusable work that you can systematize? Because if you can systematize that, you can for sure automate it. Okay, so let's look at this. A couple of things that you wrote, and I love that you're doing this process with me. So Neil is saying converting leads and onboarding clients. Converting leads, let's look at that. You know that you're doing it manually. So that means I would break down that task and think, what am I actually doing manually here? What parts of the conversion am I doing manually? Am I doing sales calls? Am I doing the chatting? What part is actually maybe reminders? What we do is that we create a structure of what am I doing when I am converting a lead? What is the process? And then I look at what part can I already automate. In our system, we automate the WhatsApp reminders. We automate for, when you show up for this workshop or you're watching the replay, you're getting the reminders. They're all automated. They have the same structure. You have also the automation of some messages that are, always the same. Maybe you said, I noticed you were not in the workshop. Would you like to receive a replay? And those are the kind of things that always come back. So I know that those parts I can already structure and I can put into the automation. WhatsApp or email. Onboarding clients, when someone signs up to our program, there's directly from the payment link, there's a welcome to the six-figure workshop formula, and then they get an email and they get right into the system. So everything is automatic. So what I recommend then is to say, what am I doing manually? What is the process? And then you take that process and you put it into the system. And I truly believe, Neil, anything that you're doing can be automatically done into a system. So if you know the process, then you can take it to the technical part and say, I need this to be done automatically, because you know what's going on every time. So we cannot do it without going through this process. We need to go through this whole loop. Email not automated, WhatsApp answer not automated, these kind of, yes. So for sure, automation of emails, very easy to do. WhatsApp automation in our system, I don't know in yours, but in ours, it's very easy to do that as well. Leads coming in, a lot of things can be automated, or at least a process. Because sometimes, of course, you want to speak with people and be a bit more human, but a lot of that can be also a process. Danielle talked about creating emails. Again, let's look at this for a second. What does a creating emails look like? If you have, and you have it, a method, and you have your 9 modules, you can put that document into ChatGPT. And then you can say, create me an email sequence. Done. You don't even need to write emails anymore, but you can put the data, the core data. What you need to put, in this case, is the process. How many emails do you want? And you need to put the core ideas, the method, which is a Google Doc, into an AI that will, for instance, ChatGPT, that will give you the emails, then you can fine tune them, and then you put that into the system. So we go through the process of, what am I doing here? How can I structure this into a process? And then how can I automate? So we always do that. And how do we create that is by scheduling time. In every week, I have a time with myself or with Barak or our team for the delivery, for the marketing, and for the sales in my schedule. It's always the same hours. Today I did the marketing with Barak for 2 hours. Tomorrow we have the delivery for 2 hours. And on Mondays we have sales for 2 hours. It's a meeting when we sit down and we look at what are we doing manually, what can we create a process for, and what can we automate. Are you following me? So this is how we improve the structure. This cycle is happening every week for every area. So finances, what does that mean? Payments, accounting, what's the process? How can I automate that? Do I need someone to do that? Maybe I need to have an automation plus accountant. Every area we are looking at, how do we let go of that? And this is really what I want to share with you today so you can start thinking. And the thing what happens as you are a conscious leader, the only way we can scale is to know that we have a system supporting us, because otherwise nobody wants to have 100 clients working manually, correct? You don't want to sit with 100 people manually onboarding them. So this is something that it's never too early to start. I really recommend starting now. So no matter if you have 1 client or 10 clients or 20 clients, if you start thinking like a business owner, that you're already thinking like, how would it be if I would have 100 clients? How would it be if I would already have a 6-figure business? And you go backwards, that you see yourself as someone that you take yourself seriously in a good way. No, not too serious, in a funky way, but allow yourself to see yourself as a business owner. And it starts by saying, okay, I'm going to look at those areas. I'm gonna look at my marketing, I'm gonna look at my sales, I'm gonna look at my delivery, I'm gonna schedule this time with myself, and I'm gonna get excited. And if I don't want to do it by myself, then I get someone to do it with me. And if I don't want to do it completely, um, then get the team on board to help you to do that so you don't have to work so hard by yourself. William is saying, you mean the delivery method of marketing and sale? No, so the delivery means all the coaching that you're doing, the client work that you're doing. I call it delivery. So delivery is anything that is coaching, client related work, marketing related, and sales related. I have 2 hours per week for each section. And then I look at all those areas together with Barak, who is the co-founder of Mind Artist, and we analyze all that. So this is a bit what we are covering today. I would love to hear. I will actually let you share in a second, but before that, if you have to, we have another 10 minutes and we'll do some Q&A now. But I would like to, for the ones who have been open to this, what we talked about today, I would love us to brainstorm more on this. So if you're feeling like, oh, I want to systematize my business. This is that now is the time, and this is opening something in you, and you're enjoying the way we think. Let's have a chat. It's You can book in a session with us here. It will be super beautiful. We will look at what you have going on in your business. We will look at your programs, those 3 programs, your marketing, your sales. We will analyze. We've done more than 300 sessions like this in the last year. It's a really valuable session to work on those areas for yourself. We'll come out with a beautiful plan. I highly recommend booking that in so we can get out of the manual work. It will be super beautiful. Now, I would love to hear you. And if you have questions, let's start with Danielle. I would like actually let's unmute you, and because we are a beautiful group here. What are you taking away from this session? What is already like, wow, okay, this is something I can do from here. This is where I can go next with this.
Well, so what I must say is, like when I said I'm in the right place, I truly meant it because I'm already part of the Mind Artist program. And so I've been working on my own program, my method for the last few months. I just started my Facebook ads and I'm in the process of automating everything, the WhatsApp messages, the email messages. And I just have to say, it's something that I've seen being on social media a lot. I've seen other coaches and therapists doing it over the years. And I just kept thinking to myself, I want to do that too. How do you do it? And I did all kinds of trainings to learn how to use social media, Instagram, advertising, this and that. But what I'm learning with you guys is it's very empowering because I'm not afraid of tech. It just takes me a while to kind of get it. I have to practice a lot. But it's really empowering and I feel really good about it. And I'm just going at my own pace and it comes little by little. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad I came to this workshop. Thank you so much because it's just a reminder and it's very encouraging. And
Mm.
I notice where I have a lot of resistance and need to get rid of some snuggle blankets. So
Yeah, snuggle
thank you.
blankets. Amazing, Daniel. Awesome. I'm so happy that you came. That's really fun to have
Thank you.
you here.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And good luck with the tech. Now she's with the team, working with them hands-on in the sessions, helping her to set it all up. So that's awesome. Awesome. Arveen, what are you taking away? What is your aha? What are you seeing that I would love you to have something that you can take action on from today?
Hi.
Yeah.
Um, Actually, I resonate with what the previous person said as well. I have taken some time learning different aspects of social media, Instagram, and even though posting regularly, I know people view my posts. I can see reactions, and people say, "Oh yeah, I saw your post." But actually, it's not really generating clients.
Mm,
I might get a few people connect with me or whatever, but that's about it. So, but today I like the idea of automating repetitive things. So, a lot of what I do is bespoke, and making medicines. I can't automate that, but I can automate maybe invoicing. And finally, what you're saying kind of rings home because I have started to systemize emails and
mm.
things. So maybe I need to spend more time doing that to save time. So yeah, and yeah, perfect.
Amazing, Arind. And I'll add one thing to you is anything that is bespoke can also be structured. So many times when we work with bespoke and tailor-made,
Yeah.
I will leave you with the question, does it need to be tailor-made? Can there be a process?
So a big part of it does need to be tailor-made, but there are core things in there that possibly could be automated or made in larger volumes,
Yeah.
which can then be mixed in with other stuff. So
Fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah. So look at that. So that's also,
yeah,
there's always a gray zone, even if
yeah,
not completely, but if you can start looking even on that part
mm,
that we see is tailor-made, what part of that does not need to be, and what
yeah,
still feels like it needs to be, and slowly but surely you're going towards a more process-based coaching or delivery method that then becomes your method and then becomes
yeah.
scalable.
Thank you.
Oh, amazing. I'm
And
happy to meet
by
you.
the way, I'm the same person as Arvin and Vasanti. So
Okay, okay.
yeah,
Fantastic. I'm
thank
very
you. Yeah,
happy to meet you, Arvind.
you too.
Wonderful
Thank
having
you.
you here.
Thank
Neil,
you.
you look like you have a lot of thoughts. I'm excited to hear you.
Yeah, I'm just it's really about focusing in on structuring what I'm offering, what my program is really,
Mm,
and then sitting down and working out how that's going to be automated, how that's going to be
yeah,
delivered, really. So I'm
amazing.
kind of quite an early stage, so
Yeah, well,
you know,
please feel free to book a call and let's brainstorm and let's see. Everyone that we meet that are in this stage, they don't have a method. You know,
yeah,
Danielle who came to us, she didn't have a program, she didn't have a 3 months method. She,
yeah.
and
Well, yeah.
you can
I mean,
always,
I do have a framework that I've been working on
yeah,
that I'm putting together, and it's now matching that to actually putting together a program that will
yeah,
deliver that. Uh,
yeah.
so that's really where I am at the moment. Yeah.
Sounds
Mm.
perfect.
Yeah.
I let's brainstorm. Let's
Okay.
look at it and break it down, book a session, and I would love to hear. And this is my favorite part. I love to look at methods. I've been doing it for 16 years. In the last
Yeah.
year, I spoke with 300 people. I never get bored of looking at method developments and brainstorming. So I would love to see what you have going on, and if I can give any guidance, I'm
Okay.
happy to do that. All right.
Okay. Brilliant.
Awesome. Very happy to meet you, Neil. It was
Thank
wonderful. You
you.
have a great energy, very positive, and like you're very expressive when you get like, oh, wait. It's good to
Yeah.
see that there's landing. That's
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being here. Patricia, I'm so happy to see you again. How was it for you today?
So, hi. Hi. Very nice to meet you and hi to meet you all. And Neil, I must admit that what you said resonates with me as well, because I'm still in that early stage, even though I've been at it for quite a long time. If I could just explain, I'm a nurse and my program is called Finding Your Florence,
Yeah.
simply because there's nurses out there who have lost theirs.
Yeah.
And I'm working on a program that will help nurses find their Florence again. And I've kind of got caught up in the content of it.
Yeah.
And the content is growing and growing and growing. And at the
Mm,
same time, I'm trying to be active out there on social media. And
mm,
social media, I find like, I don't know how to use an expression, but honestly, you put it out there and it disappears into the etheric and nothing happens. And you wonder, where all this is going,
yeah.
whether you
Yeah.
actually ever are going to get anyone who's interested. You get a lot of, I mean, I've got a lot of sort of impressions and people are looking at it, and then it just disappears and nothing actually
Yeah.
concrete comes
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah. Amazing. So, Patricia, two things here. First of all, if I always say, if you love social media, do it. If you're like, it's the best thing that ever happened to me, I'm having a lot of people coming to me. But if you don't know why you're doing it, then look at another strategy that is more aligned and don't do it just because you're doing it. It doesn't serve a purpose. It becomes, I call it hope marketing. It really is throwing something out and we hope and with fingers crossed that something will come back. So do it for the right reason. Every action you do, be intentional. If you are on social media, be intentional and know what's behind your actions. The second thing, Patricia, and this is I tell our clients in the first month when they work with us, is if you get stuck in your head with your method, then now it's time to go out and actually present it, because there's only as much as you can do on your own before you get what I call out of the cave of the creation of the method to meet your audience and actually get the feedback. And the only way we can get the feedback is by going out and either giving a workshop or presenting it somehow. But I think, Patricia, you're ready to start testing your method, not to
That's what I want to know about. You know, if it's a program with modules, can I just beta test one module?
If you have an audience, then beta test anything. We usually beta test, the first program you will do will be a test anyway, right? Because it will be a first group, and we usually recommend create your method, spend about 1 month on it, then start marketing and testing it with workshops, and then go to launching a program within the 90 days. You know, Danielle can know that I'm very much about let's take action, let's get out of the cave, let's actually meet our people, test it with a group of 8 to 12 people, and then get the feedback. That's how it usually works. So I think you're ready to go ahead with
For the whole program or for just one module?
For the whole process. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Good to see you, Patricia and William. I was asking questions. I'll take the last one and we'll finish here for today. I'm super happy to see you again as well. And William was asking a question about, I love your approach. One thing that comes to mind is why not automate the webinar that you're doing now? Give you a talk at the end of the live Q&A. Because I love this part. And for me, it's easier to create this than to do it sitting down with myself. This is why. For me, it gives me more joy to record a session with the live audience, with the live participants, because there's interaction. You see what I'm going with this? So I love doing it once a week for our group, and I know it's gonna be helpful for everyone else who will watch it after. To our email list of now 7,000 people who can watch it after. To our group, not Facebook group, our private group, there's 1,200 people who can watch it. So I can do that once, and I can reuse it in a podcast if I want to have a podcast. I can do so much with this content piece after. But for me, I'm best when I have real people to interact with. Yeah, it's more fun for me than to sit and stare at the screen and record this. I see your happy faces. I see your Neil is thinking out of the window, you know. Patricia is on your medals. Like, I'm happy to meet you because I love the interaction. For me, this is the most fun way to create something that will stay. All right, everyone. It has been such a joy to be here with all of you. Thank you for being here with me today. I'm super excited to see where you will take this and how you will create the continuation of this. Thank you for taking the time for yourself, most and foremost. And I look forward to continue our conversation, how you will flow with this and create more impact. Lots of love. Have a beautiful weekend.